It's day 12, deep in the Amazon jungle here in Suriname, and the mission continues to evolve. We've rejoined the river, now bursting with breathtaking wildlife, with the goal of kayaking from source to sea. But the hard part is far from over. We branch off and begin kayaking upstream, getting as close as possible to one of our biggest challenges yet, attempting to summit Tafelberg, Suriname's legendary Table Mountain, one of the least summited high peaks in the world, but getting there won't be easy. What else lies hidden inside the most forested country in the world?
How are you feeling this morning?
I feel semi-rested. I probably fell asleep at about midnight, I guess, just after. Kept having mosquitoes buzzing by, and you almost drift off and you hear bzzz, and you're like, oh god. And then I swear, maybe insect poo or something falling on my face. And now I've got a hell of a stiff back, just couldn't get comfortable. At least I got some sleep. Definitely prefer the hammocks. Last night, beautiful night, sleeping under the stars in our kayak on a sandbank. I heard rustling in the bush, and then I had a dream that I was dragged away by the throat by a damn jaguar. So I'm happy to still be here and alive and in one piece. I reckon that might be a sign that we're gonna see a jaguar. But all in all, I'm excited. It's hot, it's very hot days. I think we'll get close to, if not make the junction today, and I hope we see more wildlife, because yesterday was just so fingers crossed. With a new day upon us, and having made great progress the day before, we set off kayaking downstream, aiming to reach the junction that would lead us toward Table Mountain. But it wasn't long before we encountered our first obstacle. Met by more tree blockage. It's been pretty smooth today, in all fairness, but we've probably come across, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 trees, some that we can skirt under, some that we can lift over. Almost every other bend at this point. Doesn't take too much time though. After successfully navigating a fallen tree, we encountered several more along the route, but we were still making solid progress. The river remained calm, the surroundings peaceful, and once again, we were treated to some incredible wildlife sightings. We pushed on for a few more hours before arriving at what seemed like the perfect campsite for the night, but that sense of calm didn't last long. A large pack of wild peccaries moved in, and their aggressive behaviour quickly made us question just how perfect this spot really was. So we've got peccary. We were warned about peccary. They can be brutal, especially in big numbers, and right now they are in big numbers. They're clicking away. They just go after and savage anything in front of them. We hope that they don't want to cause any harm. And this is where we're looking to set up camp. So we had river otters chasing us off yesterday. And now we've got peccary, which are kind of like wild boar, wild pig, looking to try chase us off today.
Yeah, they're coming. Go, go, go.
We were lucky. The peccaries eventually moved off in another direction, and we were let off the hook. Knowing we'd be staying put for the evening, Dick began preparing a new meal for us all to try with ingredients he'd been collecting throughout the day.
Today we have something different on the menu. Sucropia tops. Sucropia is something in Suriname that we call bos papaya, because of the leaves that look a little bit like papaya leaves. This is something I learned from the spider monkeys, because everything that spider monkeys eat, we can eat as well. And I saw them eating this every time. If you eat it like that, it's not good. I'm gonna cut it into pieces. We're gonna fry it a little bit. I'm gonna add some stuff. But like a lot of vegetables, they become really small. So we got a full bag of it, which is usually pretty hard because it's high up in the trees. But luckily, when we're paddling over the river, every once in a while there's a tree that fell down and still growing. So we can actually get the young tops. This is the end result. I put some walnuts through there. It is delicious.
So we're met for about 20 metres with the first morning's obstacle. Massive trees, looks like a load of them, just falling down, blocking our path. One tree at a time, one obstacle at a time. And this morning we're feeling good. It's going to be a very hot day though, not a cloud in sight. I should have wore trousers to be honest, but just so focused on getting to the junction now and start heading up to Tafelberg, get it done, and then we'll be on our way to the sea.
Another day brought yet another obstacle to navigate, but we pressed on, continuing our journey downstream by kayak. Along the way, we were rewarded with a brand new wildlife sighting, one we hadn't yet encountered on this expedition.
So we just saw the first electric eel. I didn't catch it, but Dick said it came up for air. Got to be wary of them now too. So we are on 14 days of Uncharted Suriname, and we are almost now at the junction where we then attempt to head upstream towards the second highest mountain in Suriname called Table Mountain or Tafelberg, and we don't know yet what awaits. It's going to be obviously challenging. My feet are healing and recovering, which is good, but yeah, I look forward to getting to the top of the second highest mountain. That'll be good, and then we know then there's no more mountains, it's just straight downstream towards the sea, which is obviously going to be a mission in itself, especially with the heat. It's really hot. It must have been about 35, 36 degrees Celsius and the sun was just beaming down on us yesterday. And so it's difficult to escape, especially in a habitat like this where the shrubs and the trees are a lot smaller. But as we head further down the Kopenham River, it's going to get a lot wider, of course, so we're just going to be directly under sunlight for the whole day. Right now it's very calm, it's very peaceful, but it's beautiful here, very pristine, wildlife everywhere. I've already seen macaws and toucans this morning. Lots of iguana, they just drop into the water. They jump from the tree when they feel threatened. It's interesting with the capybara because you can tell they've never seen a human before because they don't really know what to do. They just stood there looking curiously.
As the river began to widen, we found ourselves exposed to the full force of the sun, relentless and intense. But we had to keep paddling downstream, pressing on and arriving at the junction that would mark the beginning of an entirely new mission.
Yes, so we are here. This junction here leads directly to Table Mountain, which is the second highest mountain in Suriname. So we're going to head upstream with the kayaks for as long as we possibly can and then ditch the kayaks, swap the paddle for the machete, head in the bush again and try to make the summit before we then come back, and we'll be making our way to this Kopenham River again soon. And as you can see here, the junction from Table Mountain meeting the Kopenham River, it's all murky. This is what we've been drinking out of, so it feels like we're now getting back to a bit of fresh water. But I would see this a lot when I was doing Mission Yangtze. It's beautiful, the coloration is just so distinct between the two.
But I just can't believe that we follow this creek and we're gonna be faced with North Ridge of Table Mountain.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, for me this is the most exciting part of the expedition about to happen now. Heading towards Table Mountain. I think it's the most beautiful, the most magical place in Suriname, if not in South America that I know of. So super excited.
Unsure of what lay ahead upstream, we got back into our kayaks after a brief break, determined to paddle as close to Table Mountain as possible along the Kopenham River, but it wasn't getting any easier.
So we're now paddling upstream, and I tell you what, it's a workout. It is full on and it's constant, of course, because the river keeps flowing and flowing. We're getting it done pretty sharpish actually, which is great. I kind of thought that this bit would be crazy hard, and it still might be. You know, we're only 5.5 kilometers in to like a 17-kilometer journey to the North Ridge of the second highest mountain, but so far so good. So let's hope it stays that way.
We pressed on, now kayaking upstream, a much more demanding effort that quickly began to drain our energy. After several long hours of paddling, we were brought to an abrupt halt by a blockage that stopped us in our tracks.
So we have just been met by big boulders. It sounds loud. We guess it's a waterfall beyond this, so that stopped us in our tracks. But it was a great run. Covered about 6 kilometers, maybe just over. But yeah, I think we're going to camp up somewhere here because it's getting on. And then we'll look to portage the kit tomorrow, or maybe set up base here, get the jungle attire and hike. We'll go scout, set up camp, and tomorrow's another day.